In the customer center, we have the process request that's up at the top, just like we had on our other dashboard. And then we also have some actions. From here, we can easily access the email customers button, which is essentially like an email blast. We can go in here, we can select groups or customers that we want to email, CC, BCC, select the subject of the email. We can attach files, and then we can create our email just in the same editor that we saw earlier. So we can edit the formats, we can bolden things, we can change font sizes. There are system variables for customer full name now. Now that we're addressing a customer, we could put in the customer full name. So if we wanted to say hello and then customer full name, the system would autofill this for each customer's name. So it might say hello Edward, hello Logan, hello Robert. We'd each see our own name. And then there's also additional office and agent options in the system variables that you can fill in here. After that, you just hit send. The system takes care of sending the email for you. We have an option to add customer, which opens up the add new customer menu here, where you can put in all your customers' information, first name, last name, email. You can add as many emails as you'd like, as many phone numbers, their status. Maybe you've already closed the transaction with them and you're just updating your CRM, and even groups if you want to have them be created and entered into a closed group. You can add family members, and you can add as many of those as you'd like as well. You can open it up and select their relation and put in the family member information here. Then you can also add address information if you want to put in their address, their title, their email salutation, their birthday. If you put in their birthday, it can be connected to our marketing tools to automatically send them a happy birthday message every time their birthday is coming up, because everyone loves having a happy birthday. Under transaction information pipeline, you can automatically create a transaction to be entered into the pipeline. Under postal address, you can put in primary address or even adding additional addresses. And under additional contact information, you can do that in here. I'm sorry, I can slow down a little bit. I am going a little bit fast. All the information here in the add new model is again under the customer center, under the add customer option. So I can close this out actually. Wow, there you go. So customer center under the CRM, we can go to add customer, and that's where this menu is. We went through some of these. Down here is the family information. So this is another spot where you can put in more information for families. And again, you can add as many family members, phone numbers, email addresses as you want in here. If you want to come in here, if you've got a dozen emails, you can come in here, put them all in for just this one contact. So this will only go into this one contact, but if they have that many email addresses or phone numbers, then you can do that in here. You can enter in pretty much anything, as much as anything as you'd want in here for your contact. And you scroll down, you can save and view the profile, or you can save and close. Once you do that, it'll automatically create that contact in the CRM. Up here, we can do the lead performance report, which just opens up a report on some of your leads. Like we can see between December 2021 and September 2022, the agent of Logan Wilcox, which is the agent that I'm currently using here, had 12 active customers, no inactive customers. We can see response time information. This is just a bunch of information regarding you and your leads. And then if you see this, you might see something that maybe you change how you start doing something. Maybe you see this and it's like a, hey, I could work on my average response time. It's taking me a while to get to my leads. I'm gonna head back to the customer center. Here we can import and export customers. So if we open up this action, we can select import contacts. We can see down here is the previously uploaded contacts. Some of these have been completed, some of these were paused. Up here at the top, you can select your file. So if I select this, it's going to open up my file browser, and I'm just going to see where my sample is. It's going to open this up, and then you can upload your CSV file. If you have a specific file type, for example, from Outlook 2007 version, you can select that here. But typically, you're going to want to do the standard CSV file. And then you just have to certify the list was not purchased from a third party, does not violate the CAN-SPAM Act, and it does not violate our acceptable use policy. And you can view both of these by clicking these here, and then you select Upload File. That file didn't upload because it didn't have any contacts in it, but after it uploads, it will take you to the field mapping page. From the field mapping page, we can map out the fields based on the columns that are in our CSV file. So for example, you might want to make sure that the email is actually the email, and we could do that here. Depending on the name of your column, it might not be the email. Maybe you have your emails under your last name field. I'm not sure why anyone would do that. Maybe it was an accident. And then you come in here and you see the wrong thing is selected. You can come in here and you can adjust that. Or maybe your email is just labeled something else. You can come in here, you can select the email field, make sure that that lines up. We can make sure that the first name is the first name, the last name is the last name. We can scroll down. Maybe you have an address field and you can come in here and make sure that is selected. Typically, the system will automatically map these up based off of the name of the column. So for example, if the column header's name is just state, then the system should automatically map that. But if the name of the column is customer state, then you might have to come in here and manually select customer state in order for it to actually get imported. So it's very important that we look through this whole list and we make sure that all of these fields are lined up for all the information that we want to import. Some things you can do is import spouses. If you have spousal information in here, then you could import a spouse as well to automatically be added as a family member for your contact. Groups. You can also import groups. If you have groups in your CSV file that you want created or imported for your contact, you can do that here. So there's a lot of options in here. So like I said earlier, it's very important that we go through this when we're importing contacts to make sure it all lines up. But when we're done, we can come down here and we see options. You can add all these contacts to a group if you want to. So it's not necessarily in your CSV, but maybe you want all of these contacts to go into your amazing group or your Avengers group or whatever the name of your group is. You can have them go into that group. You can automatically create MarketWatch reports for them based off of information like their city and state or their zip code or their address. And what this will do is after the contact is imported, it will automatically create a MarketWatch report to start sending out to them. And it might be a MarketWatch report for a city and a state. And then that contact can automatically receive the MarketWatch update every looks like monthly MarketWatch report. So they'll get that email every month just with an update on the market. Down here, we can choose to import duplicate contacts. So if the contact already exists in your CRM by default, we will not import it again. That way you don't have a duplicate. If you check this, then you will receive a duplicate contact. So if I was to upload Logan and Logan's already in my CRM, then this would create a second one. You can merge duplicate contacts with our Merge Contacts tool. On September 5th, we do have a change that is coming to the system. It's not something that I can show in this webinar now because it's not live yet, but it is planned to release on the 5th. And it is essentially an update to the duplicate contacts where you would be able to have a little bit more control over how we handle duplicate contacts. So whether or not we just import or don't import, or maybe we import and update information, for example. But that is something that we can cover at a later date because that's not live right now. When you're done here, you can select Save and Process Now, Or if you're not ready to process it yet, you can hit save and process later, and it'll bring you back to this screen. If you do decide that you're ready to process it, all you have to do is go to Actions and click Set as Ready. Once you set this as ready, the system is going to start importing it. All of your field mapping is saved to that import, so you do not have to do that again. If you decide that you want to remove an import, you can also come in here and select Delete, and it will delete that import from your CRM. Back to the customer center, we also have an option to clean up customers, which is an option which will help you with cleaning up duplicate customers. So we can see we have a ton of customers in here. Some of these are duplicates. So we can choose to keep or delete these customers. When we're done, we select process, and all of our changes on this will be put into effect. This is the merge customers tool. So the merge contacts tool will allow you to merge duplicate contacts. So we can say we have this is a match based on the email. So I can say this is going to be the primary and this is going to be the secondary. So the information from this secondary customer will be merged into the primary contact, which will then have that new information added. And so we can go through our list and then we can hit see more. If there's more to see in the list, obviously, and when you're ready to merge a contact, you just select the merge button to the right. The merge customers tool does detect contacts by default, but you can manually enter contact names on that page as well. Beneath our actions, we can see our hot new customers. These are customers that haven't necessarily had high engagement on your website yet, but they are relatively new or they haven't had high activity. So we can see all these are blue, which means we have not viewed their profiles yet. We can see their latest activity, their activity date, and then also if they have a market watch, a saved search, or a saved property. We can filter this by name, by activity, and then we can also choose to open customers in a new window, because by default, it's going to open up on this screen. So now if I select this, it just opens up a new tab with this contact. I scroll down here, we can see customer groups. You can create your own groups for your customers, and you can also manage your existing groups here. So we can see like this, some groups are created by default, like active or all marketing customers, but some can be created custom, like these are some custom groups that have been created here. Up here under add new group is where we can actually create the new group. Here we can put in the group name, we can give the group a color, and if we click on this, we can choose the color. Because I'm on a Mac, it opens up this color window for me, and I can slide through and select the color I want to make my group. We can choose to exclude the group from the all marketing customers group, or we could create this and make it a virtual group. To make it a virtual group, we just have to select one of these two virtual group rules, request type or initial source. And these are very useful rules to have on a group. Let's say, for example, you want a specific request type to go into a group. You want all the people who submitted a showing request to go into this group. You come in here and you select showing, and then you create this group. Then you could later market to those specific individuals that are interested in showings by using this group in a campaign, for example. Or if you have a specific source that you want, like for example, if you wanted to take all of your Zillow leads and put them in a group and market to them individually, we could come in here and type in Zillow under initial source. If we select Zillow group in Zillow.com, every contact that has an initial source from these two, which are our two Zillow sources, will be put into this group. So if I named this Zillow and I created this, every current and future contact, as long as this group is active, will be put into this group. And then if we wanted to market to specifically our Zillow contacts, we would be able to create a campaign or send an e-blast and select this group to be as part of it. And then all the contacts that came from Zillow will receive that email. If you want to add customers from an existing group, maybe you want all of your vendors group to go into this because you know they came from Zillow. Well, the initial source here would take care of that. But if you wanted to, maybe you have other contacts that you want to be part of this. We could select our customers from these groups and hit add new group. All the customers in these groups will remain in these groups, but they will also be added to this group. And then of course, afterwards, if we want to edit it under the actions dropdown, we can select edit and we can change the color. We can add customers. We can remove customers. We can manage all of that here as well. Down here is a detailed list, so you can see like a lead source, agent website, manual entry by agent, when they were last active, the market watch, save search, and save properties, how many drip campaigns are they in, how many notes, how many requests have they made, what is their email. You can just see some of that information on this page. If you click on this, it is going to open up to their customer profile page. And then down here is another place for my tasks and your calendar, and then tasks related to group customers. So these are the same widgets from the other dashboard, but they're just also additionally here. If I scroll back up to the top, that is everything that is on the customer center. Just like with the dashboard, there may be tiles up at the top that your company can create. Just little quick links. They can be across the DeltaNet or they could be to other websites. So you might see some tiles up here. You might not. You could have more than me.